Okay, I'm gonna have another go at this study. Let me see. I'm gonna for this top one, I'm gonna have a little bit of Quin Rose, but mostly Quin Burnt Orange. I've pre-mixed this and added way too much indigo, so I'm just trying to cut back. This is a brush you may probably, I doubt I've used before, but very similar to the small ones we're using. I like these though. So just gonna add that to this last swatch here. Oh, my microphone cord is flailing around, isn't it? So yeah, so that's, trying to get to a seriously dark color that makes sense in this sequence. Over here, I'm going to use mostly peacock blue. I think, yeah, this was a mix of the Quin Rose and too much peacock blue. So I'm going to mostly just use that and see how dark it gets me. It might be nice to add a little bit of indigo into that. Sure, let's see what happens without getting taken over again. Ooh, yeah, we'll see. Again, this with a lot of paint on here already, and trying to put a layer of pretty thick paint on. Sometimes it doesn't want to move around, but I think that's working. I want to do something here. This is not really what I want it to be looking like. What I'm going to do is try to mix up something along the lines of this, maybe a little bit darker, and just go over the whole thing. It's quite splotchy looking, so I'm not sure if I can fix that or not. But let's see. Don't know. Oh, excuse me. No, that's not what I want. Some azo yellow. And some peacock blue. I've switched palettes, and I have this sort of spun around. Hopefully you can see what I'm doing here, and this is a great example of what not to do. Just trying to get away with not cleaning away all that nice color, but it was starting to mix together, and especially mixing those purples, that purple with the yellow was going to seriously not make a pretty color. Let's see what's happening here. I did that, and I wanted to add a little bit of peacock blue. I just wanted more yellow green, and I'm going to paint over this whole Yeah, that. And this is another brush you probably haven't seen. Same brand as that last one. Trying to kind of peacock blue doesn't layer quite as well as traditional phthalo blues. I think it's worth it because it's a nicer color in my humble opinion. But yeah, let's see what happens with that. I'll let that dry. I'm going to bring over a cleaner water that's off camera so it doesn't really concern you. I'm in a mood tonight. Let's see. Over here, I want this to be something that you could think of as that there was some sort of a yellow in it, but mostly I want it to be this burnt orange and this indigo sort of thing. And this is a pretty tricky one, because to have it even implied that there's sort of yellow in there makes it really quite tough to get dark. So I think that's fine. Yeah. I think for this last one, I'm just going to go straight indigo. Going to go straight indigo. And where's that little spot I can... And my thinking is that indigo is still going to be leaning towards blue, so even over all this, I am curious what it's going to, how reflective it's going to be. Sometimes indigo, when it builds up, it's not quite as, the finish is a little bit interesting. That's going to be fine. Let me do the neutral tint for the right side here. Hopefully you've seen previous. And I gotta say, I am digging the indigo more than the neutral tint. And maybe the indigo knew I was gonna. It knows I'm thinking of replacing it, so it's all being on its best behavior. Yeah, I'm not sure what to think about that. It does seem like it's. Kidding aside, anyway, this next one. I've gotten too. I got too much indigo on here. Well, have I? I want to take just a little bit of. I want to lift a tiny bit of color, of paint off of this third one. So I'm going to do that, and I'm going to do that by gently wetting it. Sort of reactivating that paint. Get that paint out of my brush, and then bring in a little bit of just clean water It just got too dark a little too fast. Didn't quite judge it correctly. Yeah, I'm going to see how that dries. Let's see, let me do the last layer of... Could probably make the same argument for this one as well. I want to see what happens though if I just put in a really concentrated, well, not even that concentrated, but it's adding up. It's pretty concentrated. It's pretty creamy. And I'm curious how much it's gonna... That's already pretty dark. See what it dries like, but I have a hunch I'll probably come back and maybe lift a little paint color out of that third one just to make it so there's an actual sequence. Over here I was sort of couldn't leave it alone, and I like this look, but as many people have pointed out, they're not crazy about the outer outline. Yeah, I very much like that, but this shape is a little bit odd. So mostly what I'm going to do is I'm going to just try to reestablish a better swatch for this. No, I just changed my mind. I'm gonna use my own advice and just try to stick with judging colors, not worry about how perfect the blend on happens to be, how perfect I have the wash is. So I'm just going to I'm trying to get some very concentrated burnt orange and a tiny bit of the indigo that was over here. That doesn't seem like it's quite going dark enough, but I'm going to drip in some more color there and see how that dries. Let me try the same thing over here, but with the neutral tint. This is a Da Vinci brush, Petit Gris Mix. Similar hairs as the silver brush, the black velvet ones. Let's see, my neutral tint is right here. It's some natural squirrel hair and some synthetic squirrel hair. And it doesn't, these don't have the same point as the others, but that's actually okay. Sometimes you don't want such a pointy brush. It's sort of more of a mop. So that's some pretty nice intense color. I'm going to let that be and go answer my door.